the last few months, the media have anointed liberals like Florida gubernatorial candidate Andrew Gillum, Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams, and Texas senatorial candidate Beto O'Rourke as Democratic superstars to watch.
What is the read down there on the competitiveness of this race? I mean, Abrams is a star in the Democratic Party.
Gillum brings something. He brings energy, brings passion. He's a star.
In some of these candidates like Beto and Gillum is that not only do you get the star power, you get the youth.
I love you too. Thank you all.
You're a rock star.
No, there's just so many great people who are.
But in these final weeks of campaigning, we're learning more about all three candidates that should give all the voters in their respective states reason to question the nonstop hype. Let's start with Andrew Gillum. Text messages reveal that the Tallahassee mayor accepted a hotel room, tours, and tickets to the Broadway show Hamilton from real estate developers without ever disclosing the gifts. Only those developers were undercover FBI agents, and the developers had been in touch with Mayor Gillum about a real estate project in Tallahassee. His opponent, Ron DeSantis, Republican, confronted him with all of this at their debate on Sunday.
The question is, did you pay for the Hamilton ticket or did the undercover FBI agent pay for the Hamilton ticket?
I'm a hardworking person. I know that may not fit your description of what you think people like me do, but I worked hard for everything that I've gotten in my life, and I don't need anybody handing me anything for free.
Well, Gillum tried a different answer with Chuck Todd yesterday.
What Florida voters need to know about me is that for 15 years, I've served honorably, respectably, and have served my community without so much as a stain on my record or on my name.
Whatever his respectably, he's spinning, and badly. In text messages just released by Gillum's lobbyist friend, he's told clearly on August 10th of 2016 that Mike Miller, the undercover FBI agent, and the crew have tickets for us for Hamilton tonight at 8 p.m. Awesome news, Gillum texted in response. Now, whether his brother gave him the ticket or not, he knew the source of the ticket, a supposed developer who needed his help. Now, this is why the state of Florida's Ethics Commission has investigated Gillum. The probe remains open, and the Democrats' Florida star seems to be falling. Tonight, at his second and last debate against DeSantis, Gillum was pressed on the issue, and things got hot.
He wants you to believe that he's not under investigation. Why would an undercover FBI agent posing as a contractor give him a $1,000 ticket to Hamilton?
But I take responsibility for not having asked more questions. But let me tell you, I'm running for governor. In the state of Florida, we got a lot of issues. In fact, we got 99 issues, and Hamilton ain't one of them.
Nice try, Andy. But I'd like to have been in the room where it happened. Now, I suggest that Gillum moves to San Francisco, where his views and his style of politics would fit perfectly. Now, let's move on to the governor's race in Georgia, where this video footage of gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams surfaced. Now, it shows her and others on the steps of the Georgia Capitol burning the state flag in protest. It was 1992. Now, Abrams sought to explain her flag torching this way.
26 years ago, as a college freshman, I, along with many other Georgians, including the governor of Georgia, were deeply disturbed by the racial divisiveness that was embedded in the state flag with that Confederate symbol.
Now, that may be true, but the governor of Georgia at the time did not set the flag on fire on the Capitol steps. He worked through the legislature to amend the flag, change it, and remove the Confederate symbols that people found offensive. So, does a candidate for governor consider it right to simply destroy public images or symbols that individuals find offensive, some individuals? That's a question that the people of Georgia will have to answer. And then there is Super Beto. Yes, some street artist has tried to depict O'Rourke, whose real name is Robert Francis, as some sort of superhero. But his actions belie the designation. Back in 1998, when the Texas senatorial candidate was 26, he was drinking, under the influence, driving, and he struck another car and attempted to flee the accident. Well, since then, he's tried to soft pedal the arrest.
I did not try to leave the scene of the accident, though driving drunk, which I did, is a terrible mistake for which there is no excuse or justification or defense, and I will not try to provide one.
Well, you should also not try to excuse yourself from attempting to leave the scene of an accident when that was clearly your intention. Now, as the arresting officer wrote in a police report at the time, quote, the driver attempted to leave the accident but was stopped by the witness. Nice try, Superman. And I haven't even mentioned Beto's 1995 burglary charges for breaking into the University of Texas at El Paso or this heinous commercial.
There's nobody my Beto compares to, like JFK with a $10 hairdo. Hey, Ted Cruz, you better watch your back.
Okay, more like leader of the hacks. As voters head to the polls, it would serve them well to see through the liberal media pixie dust about all of these so-called Democrat superstars. Who these people really are? Well, check it out. And more importantly, what they believe in. Open borders, higher taxes, government-run health care, gun control, and more regulations on business. Also remember that when you look at stars, you're actually seeing the light reflected from a star that is actually already burned out. Kind of like what the economy will be like if these three get into power. And that's The Angle.